Welcome. This is Call to Serve podcast, and I am your host. My name is Oyama Mdlileni. This is our first episode. On this podcast, I will be sharing and interviewing various women in the public sector, talking about mental illness. Today I'm sharing my own personal journey. I have been working in the public sector for the past 15 years. Please excuse the rain, the noise in the background, that is the rain. I've been working in the public sector for the past 15 years. The first 3 years I was working, no, the first 2 years I was working as I was an intern. It was a learnership. I just moved to Johannesburg from Cape Town. I also just completed my BCom degree, so I was looking for a job, and I came across this program, a disaster management program, where they were taking in undergrad students from various fields so that they can introduce them to disaster management. I went for an interview and I got it was 8 of us. I got into the program. When I got in, we were studying at the same time. We were being placed in various government spheres, national, provincial, and local level. After that, when I completed that program, I got a job where I was working for a metropolitan municipality. I worked there for 6 years, and I loved my job. I enjoyed it. I felt that I was properly placed where I was working with volunteers, where also I was on an annual basis. I was planning our IDDR Day, which is the International Day for Disaster Reduction. And I enjoyed planning that event. I enjoyed the part where I was inviting girls, drafting the proposal or the concept document. I really enjoyed my job. But at the same time, family-wise, my family was growing. When I started working there, I had already 2 children, and I added 2 more children from working in that job within that 6 years. There were times where I would feel a lot of pressure because of the season within the work, in terms of the role at work now that I was playing. When I would have to arrange or prepare for this IDDR day, which was in October, then I would feel this pressure because now I'm planning this big event. I have to get everything ready for the day. At the same time, I'm having a family now that I have to take care of. I have young children who have to go to school. I have to cook. I have to do all these things. Luckily, I had a helper to help me at the time. But it was still a lot of pressure balancing the two, because now I did not want to also bring my family life, personal life to my work environment. For me, that felt unprofessional. It seemed unprofessional, of which at the same time I don't think we can exist separately within these 2 worlds where we feel we are being pulled this side and being pulled this side. For me, it felt like real pressure, because there was a time in year 2010 where during the World Cup, during that month, I was pregnant at the time, and I had to drive around because my volunteers now were placed in different regions. I had to drive around and bring them food. I did not ask for help. Perhaps also that is one of the reasons why maybe support may be limited or non-existent, is because we don't cry out for help. We seem on the outside like we have it all figured out, and therefore now the people who are around us don't know where exactly to fit themselves in. Even in the family side, on the family side, our partners may not know exactly how to support us if we are not telling them what kind of help I need and when do I need that support from you, and therefore they won't know exactly where to support us. I've since learned that for my own self, that I should ask for help and not just assume that a person will see or recognize that this person needs help and therefore pitch in, but I should ask for help, and also even to the details in terms of what kind of help do I need from you at this moment. So that was also one of my challenges during that period. And I really enjoyed my work. I worked there for 6 years. Within that 6 years, there was also a period now where my husband he was retrenched at work. When he was retrenched at work, I started getting into debt because he was now in a different province. He had to go and work in a different province to try and supplement our income, and I started getting into debt. I was drowning into debt. I've shared this also in on my YouTube channel, where I got myself into so much debt. I would into accounts, credit cards, personal loans, and then to top it all up, now I took out a pension-backed loan where I took 180,000 for my pension at the time, and I was struggling so much that my pay slip was it was just easy to get credit because I had a pay slip. It just seemed so easy, and yet I was not even affording all that credit that I was getting just so easily. And there was a time where month end I would pay what I could, and then go back again to my credit and go and buy groceries. That's how bad things were, where I would have to I had this revolving credit, and also I would take out bigger loans because I wanted to consolidate my debt, and I would take out this loan, pay off some of the debt, and sometimes I would even misuse the consolidation loan because it was just money that seemed available for me. It was like it was like money that is available for me to just use anyhow, of which when I took it, the reason why I took that loan in the first place was to try and consolidate and pay off some of the debt so that I could have at least be able to breathe and have some form of disposable income, or some form of change for my own income, so that I'm able to now maybe pay extra on my loans or on my debt, or even be able to buy groceries for my family. But it was just a vicious cycle, and I didn't know how to get myself out of it. Until then, I started becoming frustrated with my work, because now month end I have to, when the income comes, I don't even see my own income because I have to take this money, and it was just evaporating. The income was just evaporating. I didn't know where it went. I didn't know how to manage it. I didn't know how to control it. It was just evaporating, and it was not covering all of my expenses. I then now started to say, okay, I think I need to go and look for another job. I applied for a position within another metropolitan municipality, and I was so desperate because I remember praying and asking God and saying, if you do this for me, I will never ask you for anything else. That is how desperate I was. Every single day it was consuming me. It was the first thing I think about in the morning. It was the last thing I think about before I go to bed. Every single day I was thinking about how it was not even a matter of thinking about what ways or what things I can do currently that can be able to alleviate some of this pressure that I'm feeling now in terms of paying off my debts, in terms of being able to manage or control my own finances. But it was more of, even now, to the extent of now, I want to leave this job so that I can take the pension money and settle this account. Because I still loved the position I was holding at the time. I still love my job and the people I was working with, because I had been doing that now for 6 years, and I really loved the job. I got the job, the new job, and when you exit from one municipality to another, or from one public sector component to another, you fill in the forms and they ask you what are the reasons for your exit, and you just say greener pastures. And I felt that perhaps if there was an exit interview that HR maybe could hold, where they could ask you why are you leaving, what are some of the reasons that you are leaving. Because I believe that some people leave their jobs even though they still love their jobs, but they leave because of this pressure, of this feeling depleted and feeling like there's no other way out. But if there are such programs, or HR can take it into consideration to say that the people who are leaving our system, what are the reasons, why are they leaving our system, and therefore we can sit them down and have like some sort of an exit interview where we ask them, why are you leaving, and based on their reasons, and just try some sort of a counseling to say, because I don't think that everyone leaves because they want to leave. They leave, yes, there are those that leave because they may be starting their own businesses, even that it could be because of financial pressures, or maybe some because they've had now another position in a different whether private or public sector. But even those, still they need, perhaps if you can just get to the root in terms of why, what are the reasons for you to exit, and do you think this is the best way, or there are also other possible solutions that maybe you have not exploited, or that you have not explored, that you might find considerable for your own journey, or your own for your own journey. Yes, but there was none like that for me, and I felt that maybe that's a gap that also needs to be considered and filled within the public sector, where HR should hold an exit interview, not just on a form, but talk to the person. Because when you talk to a person, you are able also to see their posture and their expression, and therefore be able maybe to come to draw a conclusion from that. And while I was working also there for the first municipality, there is an EAP program, an employee assistance program, where it's some form of counseling, but it's not a long term counseling. I don't think it was ever intended to be like that, which just looks at the surface of the problems that the employees might be going through or facing. I don't think there were 2 or more than 3 sessions where you sit with a psychologist or social worker, and they can advise you in terms of some of the challenges that you might be going through in your own personal life, and also just trying to get the harmony or the balance between your existing between these 2 worlds now, of your personal and your professional working environment. Just finding that harmony, these 2 worlds coexisting with one another, and you as the main character now being able to find that harmony and being able to have that joy at work and also in your own with your family. So I believe that program is very limited, I perhaps the intention was never in the beginning to have it long term, or maybe employees being so codependent on these visits or appointments with the psychologists or social workers, to where they can just offload or just vent out their own personal problems. But now the challenge is that you find that a person has, like, for instance, my own personal journey, where I was raped as a child at the age of 6. Now that brokenness, I was still experiencing it even at work, where I would have anxiety. I did not have the courage to speak up. And also I had challenges also with being managed, with having reporting to someone, because I felt that the people who had authority over my life when I was little, they abused that. And therefore now I was having challenges, because I remember I was just submitting grievance after grievance. I had a grievance with on my manager, because I felt that it was being unfair, and I felt that there was this time where he would make such comments and saying that employing women, because women go on maternity leave, they fall pregnant and go on maternity leave. So it seemed like he was having problems with that, employing women because they go on maternity leave. I submitted a grievance against him for that. So for me, and thinking of it now, yes, I still feel that what he said was not in a was quite childish, what he said. But at the same time, I think my response to that could have been more amicable, much more better. Because even with the current job, I have aggrieved my boss. So now there was this trend of me submitting grievances against my management, because I felt that I had issues with someone being over me, someone not over me, but just being authority. I have issues with authority, as I'm saying, because the people who had that role, that power over me when I was little, they abused it, and then they neglected and abandoned me. And this showed up now in my own work life. And now when I got the second job, I started working there. I've been now working there for 7 years currently. And with this specific metropolitan municipality, I felt that I was not positioned properly in terms of my own gifts and talents. I was not, because as I've said, I like working with the planning for an event, stakeholder engagement for that event, from start to the end, seeing it through. I love doing that, and I also love training women and children, and teaching them and about disaster management, and what are the things that they can do also to prevent, mitigate, and also prepare for disasters in their own lives. So that's the work that I love to do. But now with my current job, I felt that I was not positioned properly, and that affected me somehow. I had anxiety. I've had more anxiety in this position, more than I've ever had anxiety in my life, where I just get nervous when I have to. I just get nervous. This anxiety, and I also believe also it's stems from that balance, that harmony, personal and professional life, where we need to find that balance in the end. And I believe that for us to be able to get that balance or harmony, there are things that we have to put in place. There are measures that we have to put in place, and also not wanting to do everything by yourself. You go to work and you work from 9 to 5, and then you want to come back home and you want to still cook and clean and assist your children with school, with homework, and get their lunches ready for when you could have that extra hand that is assisting you in just loading off or elevating some of these some of the pressures, or just taking off some of the pressure by having someone, that extra pair of hands, who will assist you when you come back. You know that at least maybe, even if not all the meal is fully prepared, but some of the maybe the veggies are peeled, or the rice is cooked, or then the meat is defrosted. Some of those things, that the uniform is ready, the lunch boxes are ready for the children, and then you can just do. You don't have to you don't need to be everywhere all the time and be everything to everyone, but just choose where you are comfortable, the things that you can do, or the things that you feel that you cannot delegate them to someone else, but then those should be the things that you prioritize, but not just want to do everything. And even if things you are unable to do everything at that time, you can still, it doesn't mean the end of the world just because you're so tired that you couldn't wash the dishes tonight. It doesn't mean the end of the world. You can get maybe someone who can help you once a week, or just to do spring cleaning, or whatever works for you. Whatever works for you, but you don't have to do everything all the time. You cannot be everything to everyone. And sometimes you think you are saving money by doing everything yourself, when at the end of the day, you are so tired that you feel depleted, and you can't now pour in on your own children, or even at work you are so depleted that your job doesn't you feel that your job is not fulfilling you, when you are the one who is depleted and you cannot pour in on your work, because you pour in and you also receive the fulfillment. It's not a matter of coming to work and then you find programs that come your way and they fulfill you, but you also place yourself in a place or position where you are able to do the things that you love, and those things at the end of the day can be able to fulfill you, because you've helped someone. Because fulfillment comes from helping someone, not just by you receiving, but giving. That's how we get fulfilled, in whether at home or at work. So this is something that I have also been learning for my own self, to say, how do I position myself in my current work? As I've felt for a long time, for the past 6 years, I have felt that I have felt so empty in where I'm working currently. I felt so empty because I did not feel that I was putting in value. I did not feel that I was positioning myself in places where I would be able to create that environment that gives, so that I can give and then be able to also receive from what I was also giving, on whether especially to my own clients. So I felt very low for the past 6 years. I've been feeling very low in my work. It's only now that I'm starting to because I have been very intentional in terms of how am I positioning myself. And I have to say this, that God, we sometimes we just feel that there are areas in our lives where God features, and there are areas in our lives where God doesn't feature, that we feel that I have control over this area. I am managing. I don't need you here. Of which God wants to be part of each and every area of our lives. He wants to be part of our marriage. He wants to be part of us raising our children. He wants to be part of how we eat, our eating plan. He wants to be part of our working environment, and also even Him giving us the ideas, and also showing us ways that we can do our work better. He wants to be part of our finances. He wants to feature in each and every area of our lives, but we tend to close Him or block Him in some of the areas that he wants to be part of. And this was the same thing for me, where I did not involve Him in my work. Even when I was praying with my first job and saying I want to leave this job and go start and go to another one, I believe now that if I had asked Him, how can I make better, or what are some of the ways that I can improve my finances? What are some of the ways that I can properly manage my finances? I believe He would have given me the solutions. But because I was asking Him to move me, take me out of here, take me out of here, take me out of here, and give me this job that I want, of which the main problem was that I was not managing with my finances. I felt that my money was just come and go. As I was saying, evaporating. It was just come and go. I was not able to manage my finances and to say, okay, this is the best way that I can stretch, or this is how I can prioritize in terms of my finances. And these are some of the ways, or the things that I'm spending more money on, and I can reduce, because I had the awareness now. But I was asking Him the wrong questions, and He gave me the job because I had faith in terms of getting that job. He gave me the job, but still the problem was there. The problem, the root cause was never addressed until recently now, because he brings us to the awareness. So I'm saying all of this now because I started bringing Him in my professional life. I knew Him as a God who provides. I have not met Him as a God who heals. I have not met Him as a God who gives ideas. I have not met Him as a God who can help you build your business. But He is a God who does that. But because we limit Him sometimes, and we fear, because I've never met Him this way, and therefore I don't think He can come through this way. And therefore we limit Him to a box and say, okay, no, I'm gonna have food tonight. I will not go to bed hungry, because I know He's a God who provides. But you go to bed, you don't sleep. You have sleepless nights because you are thinking, I don't love my job, I don't love my work, I don't like my days. And yet He wants to help us also in that area. He doesn't just want to feed us, but He also wants us to thrive on a daily basis where we are. So that is now when I started to have ideas in terms of, okay, how best can I do my work? How best can I, what kind of, started downloading on me in terms of ideas on how I can improve on my own job. And that's how I started now, because I was on a daily basis saying, I hate my job, I hate my job, I hate my job. I used to say that, I hate my job, I hate my job, I want to leave this job, I want to leave this job, I want to leave this job. And that is the mistake most of us we do, is that when we're feeling pressure and we're feeling that we are not fulfilled where we are, We want to exit. We want to run away and go start something else, without knowing exactly why, without even looking at it and saying, why exactly am I hating my job? And what are the ways that I can improve how I am performing, or how I am doing my job? And God, please help me, show me the ways that I can improve my work. Show me the ways that things that I can do to make my job better, to help me love my job. Is this where you want me to be? Where exactly do you want me to be? Am I positioned properly here? What other skill set do I need? What do I need to study for me to be able to improve? So those are the questions that we should be asking God, and for Him to show us exactly what do we need for us to be able to move and be able to perform better in our workplace. So that is what has been happening currently with me now, having that excitement to go to work, whereas before I was like, I don't want. I would dread Sunday evenings because I know it's Monday is coming. I don't want to go. I don't like my job. I used to do that. But now He's giving me ideas. He's showing me ways I can better do my work. And the anxiety is starting to go down. It's starting to go down because I can see that it was affecting me so much. It was affecting me, even it was affecting my family. My husband would see how I hated my work, and I would say, perhaps I should just go and start. I want to resign. I should just go and start something new. And he's seen this before with my previous work, saying, I want to leave this job. When you tell your partner every single day, I hate my job, it's like they don't know how to assist you. But God, He will help you improve on your work. He will help you find ways to better do your job. If you just cry out to Him. If you just cry out to Him and not act like you have it all together, whereas on the inside you are dying. And it's not for us to go to work every single day and not be fulfilled and not thrive, even financially, on our work. And there are things that you can be doing on the side. There's so much creativity in you. There is so much gifts in you. You're not only limited to one gift, but there are so much gifts, there are so much talents in you that are just waiting to be explored, waiting to be unleashed. But most of us sit with those talents, we sit with those gifts, and we underutilize them. Because yes, we don't know, we are not aware, but also we fear, because we are so scared. We'd rather work on this job and be limited to this income, whereas God wants you to thrive. He says, I have plans for you to prosper and not to harm you, but to give you a future. Those are the plans of God that He wants for our lives. He says He can do exceedingly abundantly above what we can ask, think, or imagine. Let's give Him the chance. Let's give Him the opportunity to say, God, how can I better do my job? What are some of the ways? What ideas can you give me that I can improve on how I do my job? So let us not be under this pressure and also be in this pain by ourselves, but know that He wants the best for us. He truly wants the best for us. That is how I can now say that I love my job. I love my job because God has shown me that there's a lot to you. There's a lot in me that I have not unleashed, that I have not even tapped into. And I don't believe that I am an exception. I'm sure there are so many women like me who are feeling so depressed. I'm sure there are so many women like me in their workplace who feel, especially in the public sector, where there is this thing that says people who work in the public sector are lazy. I believe that people are disencouraged. People are not motivated in their work. People are maybe wrongly positioned. People do not know their purpose and how to, on a daily basis, live their purpose and thrive in it. And thrive in it is not because people are lazy. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. No one wants to not contribute anything. We all want to contribute. We all want to add value. We all want to add value. I strongly believe that it's because people just need to embrace their purpose and live it on a daily basis. That is how people can be fulfilled. I'm talking to women especially, because we have so many things to juggle. We have so many responsibilities as women. And sometimes we can lose ourselves in the midst of that. We can lose ourselves in the motherhood, as wives, as daughters, as friends, as colleagues. We can lose ourselves and forget that those are roles. But exactly who are you? And what do you believe you are here for? What contribution do you believe you are here for? What problem are you here to solve? And the people in the public sector, I believe they are there to solve a problem. Yes, you can be disrupted by politics, and you can be disrupted. I believe that is just distraction. Politics and all these other things, noise, especially noise, that is a distraction. But exactly what are you there for? What problem are you solving? What role, what contribution are you making? Because fulfillment is not about you receiving, but it's about us giving. What value are we adding? We all have a value to add. We all have gifts and talents that we can add. But we just need the self-awareness to say exactly what am I good at? What am I good at? We just need to take the time in the presence of God, and He's the only one who can show us that. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. Many more to come when I invite and interview my guests. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share the video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for commenting. Please bring them on, the comments. I read all of them, and I appreciate you, and I love you, sis. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. Go and live your purpose.